Yo, my G, what you saying?
My G.
What up, and greetings! So, a bit of a talking video because yesterday we've had some leaks on what might be the next Hearthstone expansion. This voice actress called Lani Minella basically uploaded a new version of her CV that contained references to the new expansion and to the cards that she's voicing, and she's already voiced cards in the past for Hearthstone, so it's very likely that this will happen. Since then, the information has been removed. So even more likely that it will happen, the name of the expansion should be The Lost Secrets of Goro, or Goro. I'm not sure, that's gonna be a constant discussion like, is it Yasharash, is it Yasharsh? Who knows? I do believe it's gonna be a full-blown expansion, even if Blizzard has first initially thought to be releasing an adventure and, you know, the cycle would incline for it to be an adventure. I think that the pool of cards would actually become too small in standard. We have 2 expansions, 2 adventures and 1 expansion. Sorry, I'm getting lost in this. Rotating out. So replacing 3 set of cards with only 1 set that's only going to be like 30 to 40 card is probably not enough to shake up the meta as it is. But Blizzard has been talking about some cards changing at the end of this month when they're going to be releasing some patch. And I think that they really need to make 2017 a year when they interact more with the community and they make more timely changes, not waiting for 6 months to nerf a card, because the amount of complaints has actually been on the rise, and I was always quite skeptical because when you look at Reddit, it's always, you know, complaining and shit posts on the front page. And I think that lately, you know, Hearthstone has really become on the borderline of actually doing some necessary changes, like some big changes that are needed and that are asked by the community. You know, you can't give people whatever they want, but I think that the main theme of the complaining and the argument that people have is that 1-drops are way too powerful. That means that aggro is getting totally out of hand. You know, now you have Shaman that's dominating the meta, and Blizzard is taking their time to sit back and reconsider, despite the fact that Small-type Buccaneer is being played in like 75% of the decks. So I think that they need to be a bit quicker with their nerfs. They need to shake up the meta in by their own godly hand of changing the card text and stuff like that, and they need to be slightly less precious about, you know, making permanent changes to the cards, because sometimes they are really cruel when it comes to nerfs and changing cards. I'm looking at you, Warzone Commander. And sometimes it takes them a long time, and even though a card is nerfed, you know, it's still being played widely. So I hope that Blizzard learns from this and actually starts making some good big changes, because I think that's what Hearthstone needs right now. Another problem is perhaps the early game weapons that have been printing out lately or putting out lately. That's something that Kibler has mentioned. For early game removal, releasing those weapons is usually counterproductive, that it becomes a staple in aggressive decks rather than controlling decks. They can't really balance it out because then they print some late game weapons, like Tentacles for Arms, that is, you know, totally on the other side, or the Knuckles that give you your minion in your hand +1/+1, which is a 2 free weapon, which is terrible for, you know, the mana cost. But yeah, just balancing out the strength of the early game weapons and then the impracticality of the late game weapons. I think they should print more late game weapons, but good and smarter late game weapons as it is. Let me know what you think, guys. I think that the best changes for Hearthstone would be at this very moment, because I think that everyone wants the game to change in one way or another. We can't have another year of Shaman Stone. I do expect from Ungoro expansion to be heavily concentrated on beasts and also, you know, dinosaurs or sauruses or whatever they want to call it. I'm wondering if they will change some types like Bloodthorn Raptor and King Crush, if they'll actually change it to a tribe of sauruses, and they will get some buff cards, because that will mean that actually King Crush might become a playable class legendary, which he never was. You know, it's probably the worst class legendary from the classic set when you look at them objectively. And yeah, I've got big hopes. I think that it might be a bit more funny, light-hearted than Mean Streets of Gadgeton. I mean, Gadgeton is in Silithus, and Ungoro Crater is right next to Silithus in the next zone, so we don't really have to travel that far. It's good for us. Like, my fingers crossed, you know, for Hearthstone to become massively more successful in 2017 than it already is. We players that have been playing since the beginning are only gonna recommend the game to our friends if it's worth playing for us and if it's not annoying us. So I think that Blizzard also needs to take a look at the existing players as well as new players, because yeah, we're gonna big up your game if it's worth bigging up, Blizzard. So please make those changes. Don't be afraid to make changes. Don't be afraid to be upsetting people. You know, you're upsetting us by not communicating with us, not making those changes on time. And yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm glad to be speaking with you once again. Bye and take care.